Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on May the 15th, 2020. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off with our calendar here. So we will take a look at, Forex Factory. Okay, so interesting day today. In terms of the news here, we saw that the unemployment claims out of the US were higher than expected. The expectation was for around 2.5 million unemployment applications, and we got close to 3 million. So that was considered negative for the markets. We did see equity markets drop initially after this number came out, but later in the day, we saw that things turned around for the equity markets when we have seen all of them go up. So before we dive into the news that's coming up, just to kind of take a look at what happened in the markets today. So I'm just looking at this Reuters article here. So we did see that all three major U.S. stock indices did end the session in the positive territory, even though we did see them drop initially. Now, some of the reasons behind that were, one, we did see that oil and actually the energy sector led the day today. And we have seen the energy sector drive the market down previously. And now that oil prices were going up and overall the energy sector was doing well, we did see that help the stock market turn around. So that was one of the factors. And then another factor that we have seen is that we did hear comments from, or there were tweets from President Trump saying the vaccine will be here soon. So that was one of the things. And then there were also, now on the flip side though, there was a health official who basically testified in the Congress here saying that we are likely looking at the darkest winter. And if basically people don't follow or we open up too soon and we don't follow the recommendations. So that was negative for the market, but for the most part, market ignored that. And we also heard comments from President Trump, again, placing the blame on China for the coronavirus outbreak. He also said that he's not willing to renegotiate the trade deal. But again, that sort of was placed on the back burner, even though we had higher number of jobless claims, so unemployment claims. Market disregarded that, even though the unemployment is at about 36 million. So a lot of people are expecting a V-shaped recovery, which means they're expecting a market to go back up quickly once everybody is back at work. Now, there were also rumors about another stimulus bill from the federal government, and that is always positive for the stock market, and this was one of the reasons that the market went up. So partly it was because of the energy sector doing well, partly because of the rumors around another stimulus bill that would be put together in order to support the market. And then we also saw that there was one of the states, actually, the court overturned the lockdown orders from the governor. Can't remember what the state was now, but anyway, one of the states where the government was taken to the court, and the court said they overturned the lockdown orders. So as a result, that state can now open up, which is again positive for the markets. So overall, there were multiple things that were driving the market up, and we have just gone past, or we're just finishing up the earnings season for the companies. And so the stock market is essentially made up of the major public companies, and the major public companies have actually done reasonably well, because the only companies that are actually open are the large businesses, and those businesses now essentially have a monopoly over over the economy because everybody else is shut down. So the only place you can buy stuff is from large businesses, and those businesses have posted a record profit. So grocery stores have done well. We have seen Netflix, Zoom, Amazon, all of these companies have done really well. Even Facebook posted gains. So because of these companies, the stock market has been driven up because the performance has been so good. So all in all, there were a number of factors that push the market up, even though there is a lot of uncertainty in the market. So getting back to our calendar here, coming up here, we do have industrial production numbers from China. And right now, the production numbers are supposed to go up because China is now open again. So if these numbers come in below expectations here, we're likely to see a negative impact on Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar. So coming up on Friday here, we have preliminary GDP numbers out of Germany. We have Eurozone trade balance numbers. We have flash GDP numbers. So right now, these numbers are supposed to be below the previous numbers. But the thing here will be if they are actually below the expectations, that will be negative. But should they come in above expectations, that will be positive for the euro. We also have core retail sales numbers and retail sales numbers month over month here. Again, there is a drop that's expected in these numbers. But if the drop in these numbers is not as bad as what the forecasted number is, then in that case, we are going to see a positive move in the stock market. So keep that in mind. So other than that, tons of data here out of US, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. Consumer sentiment numbers here. It is expected to drop, but any kind of positive news that we are seeing right now is driving the market, the equities markets higher. So just keep that in mind. And when we see the equities markets go up, we see Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar go up. We see yen crosses drop. So those are the interrelationships that are playing out at the for the time being. So let's move on to our charts here. We'll start off with euro dollar as usual. So here we go. All right, so for euro dollar here, we see that price is still trading in a range. It did come into the support level here, and then price bounced off of this, but we do have bearishness in this. So I would expect the price to maybe pull back a bit, and then if it holds above 1.0780, chances are we are looking for a move back into the range. So right now, price has been range bound for the most part the entire week for euro dollar. So I'm expecting it to stay within this range for tomorrow as well. So bias here is neutral for euro dollar. I'm just looking for a bit of a drop towards 1.0780 and then a potential move higher back into the middle of the range. So neutral here. Pound dollar here, this was interesting. We did see a drop right into the support level that we were looking at, and then price moved up fairly quickly. Now, one of the things that we will notice here is that there were a lot of these thin moves here. There wasn't as much liquidity in the market, but we still see a rejection of the lower level. So at this point, I'm neutral on this one as well, but this one could go higher. So again, I will look for a bit of a pullback, maybe even into this level here, 1.223, 1.2230 approximately, and then a further move to the upside. So for now, neutral bias here. So the pullback level, sorry, 1.2200, and then a further move to the upside. And for now, we have a double bottom situation here. And as long as price holds above this level, we are likely to see a move higher here. So we could see a move back into 1.2300 and even potentially into 1.2350. So right now I'm neutral on this one as well. Price is struggling with the support, and we'll see how this one goes. So neutral bias for pound dollar. Aussie dollar here, this one similar to what we saw for British pound. Yesterday we were looking for a drop. Price did go into the support level and now it has bounced off of that. And as we can see for the entire week here, price has been trading in a range here. So at this point, we see that price rejected the support level. So here I am looking for a bit of a pullback and then essentially a move back towards the top of the range here. So neutral bias for Aussie dollar here as well. And looking for a move back towards potentially midpoint of the range or towards the top of the range here. New Zealand dollar, same thing here as well. We did see a drop, which we were looking for yesterday, but then price came into the support and now it is bouncing off of that. So I would look for a bit of a pullback, and if it holds above today's support, I'm looking for a move back up. So at this point, it is range bound, and this is the range that it's been trading in. Right now, the target here would be 0.6050 and then 0.6150, which is the top of the range here. So neutral bias for for New Zealand dollar as well. Dollar CAD here, this one's looking bearish. We see that price went into the resistance. We have a nice bearish candle close here. So looking for price to drop. So one of the reasons that Canadian dollar has done well is two reasons actually. One, because we heard from Bank of Canada, and the Bank of Canada was surprisingly optimistic about Canadian economy and the impact of the stimulus package and so forth. So that was positive for Canadian dollar. And then we also saw oil go up. So that's another thing that gives it more positive influence here for Canadian dollar. So for now, bias is bearish. First target is 1.3970. And then below that, we're looking at 1.3900. So bearish bias for dollar CAD. Gold here, this one's looking bullish as well. We see that price has gone through the resistance. It had been trading in this range for a long time. And today we see that price has closed strongly into the positive area here. It's gone through the resistance level. This is the support level. So this is the range it's been trading in. Now we do have a very strong bullish candle close here. So in this case, I would look for a bit of a pullback here and then a further move to the upside. 16.35 is the first target for silver. Gold here also looking very bullish. We see that gold is holding above our support level. It held above this level forever and bounced off. So as we can see, it's approaching the resistance now. As we can see, overall, the move has been bullish. So we've had price move up, pull back, move up, pull back, move up. And then now it's consolidating sideways. So it's starting to, or it's forming a bullish flag pattern. So in this case, if it goes through the resistance, then I will look for a pullback and a continuation. So for now, bias is bullish, but as long as it holds below 1.1740, this is still range bound. So we do need to be cautious. So bullish bias here for gold. Oil here, we've had a big positive close for the day, and this is what we talked about, something that has impacted the equities markets. So for now, bullish bias here. Next target is 29.30, and only if the price continues through, we're looking at 30.50. So bullish bias here for oil. Copper here, copper had dropped nicely like we were expecting yesterday, but price went into the support and took off from there. So now we have a bullish pin bar here. So bias is to the upside. I would look for a potential pullback into that candle there and then looking for a further move to the upside. So bullish bias here for copper. Bitcoin here, Bitcoin still looking bullish here. We see that Price is going into resistance, so bias is bullish here. Now, the next level to watch would be 10,250. So for now, bias is bullish for Bitcoin, but the caution here would be if it goes into resistance right over here and doesn't break through, then we could see a reversal here. So bias is bullish for Bitcoin. S&P 500, this one also has a bullish pin bar here. So in this case, we could get a pullback and then a further move to the upside. So bias is bullish in terms of the pullback. We're looking at 28.20. And then in terms of the targets, first target would be 28.80. And then above that, we're looking at 29.50. So bullish bias here for S&P 500. Nasdaq here, this one's looking bullish as well. And in terms of our targets, we're looking at 92.10 and then finally into 93.40. So bias is bullish for Nasdaq as well. Dow Jones, this one also came into the support level and then bounced off of that. So bias is bullish here. First target is 23,900 and then 24,100. So bias is bullish for Dow Jones as well. DAX here, similar story. We see that price dropped into the support and then pulled away from that support level. So the next target here is 10,800. And then above that, we are looking at 10,000, so 11,000 essentially. So bullish bias here for DAX as well. FTSE here, similar story. We see a large wick in the bottom, which means price is likely to go higher. So at this point, we could see a further move to the upside. So be prepared for that. And I'm just trying to find where the target would be. So it rejected the support here. Next target would be 58.60. We could see it struggle into 58.40 as well. So bullish, actually neutral bias for FTSE here. And last but not least, we have Nikkei. We see a big drop in Nikkei and then it reversed directions. And now we have a pin bar here. So this one could go higher as well. So keep an eye on it. Target is 20,500. And then we have Nikkei here. Oh, sorry, we already did Nikkei. So that's it for today. We see that most of the equity markets are looking bullish. Now, another thing to keep in mind here for Friday is that we are into weekend, going into a weekend. Into Friday. So many times the moves can get reversed. So watch out for that. All right, any questions before we wrap it up? Okay, perfect. So let's wrap it up. Have a wonderful weekend and I'll see you again later. Bye for now.